Cardiff University has a global impact, but it also has a local impact. And as part of Cardiff, we should be supporting our neighbours to actually develop and improve their environment, not just through education, but also by making positive impacts on the world around them. So people may be aware that we're running out of effective antibiotics. We have bacteria in our hospitals that can no longer be treated. And our hope is that from our honey work, we will find new drugs that will be able to help us treat these hospital superbugs. Fortunately, due to some clever science, we were able to identify the plants that actually are responsible for the antibiotic compounds present in honey. We've been able then to take those plants and start to grow them here in Cardiff. We all want to make sure that we live in a pleasant and a green environment. And to that end, we have linked with community groups such as those in Grangetown to actually grow the plants which contain those super compounds which will then go into super honey.
This kind of project has a role to play in educating people. Also, it's this kind of education that you get outdoors doing it. You don't have to sit behind a desk in order to learn. This actually offers its own learning experience that is active and generally good for you, I would say.
Creating a bee-friendly city. If I had to describe it in 3 words, I would say sweet, sticky and tasty. So imagine if Welsh honey was a superfood. Professors and researchers at Cardiff University were looking into new antibiotics, the types of medicine that could tackle even the nastiest of superbugs you might find in hospitals, like MRSA. One of their lines of research was on the antibacterial properties of honey, which led them to discover a small back garden in Tywyn, North Wales. A man named Chris had been producing honey for fun in his back garden, and by pleasant coincidence, the honey his bees were producing was an antibacterial super honey. The researchers based in Cardiff were very excited by this discovery, and putting on their thinking hats, wondered what gave this particular honey its super properties. Like humans, plants that bees feed off have individual DNA sequences, allowing scientists to identify the type of plant from the tiniest sample. Similar to a Jurassic Park movie, the scientist identified the pollen in the honey and tracked it back to certain plants found around Chris's house in North Wales. It was this specific pollen mix that gave the honey its super properties, and therefore the researchers at Cardiff University came up with the idea of recreating Chris's back garden on a bigger scale back in Cardiff, to see if they could mass produce this super antibacterial honey. And they started on the roof of the School of Pharmacy. They installed beehives on the roof and began planting the specific flowers identified in the super honey around the building. Their hope is to have beehives on lots of university buildings and to continue to plant the special plants across the university campus to create the first bee-friendly university in Wales. Through this effort, we will improve local biodiversity and provide food to the honeybees that already live in the city. But we don't want to stop there. The university is only a small part of Cardiff, and so we are keen to engage with our neighbours and share our bee-friendly ideas with the rest of the city. Visiting schools and teaching children and teachers about honeybees is part of spreading the word. I'm hoping that schools will also want to have a beehive on site to give them a better understanding of how amazing the honeybee is, but also to produce a super honey of their own. Who would have thought that Wales would be the place where we discovered the next superfood? Cardiff University wants your help to spread the word about honeybees. Create a bee-friendly city, and together we can improve the health of Wales and beyond.